Hello there. So I am in the process of incorporating my company, and I've been talking to a few other clients as well about how it would be tax effective for them to incorporate their companies as well, as we're going through tax season and we're getting into the details and we're calculating taxes for 2019. And this time we're halfway through the year. Normally it's the end of April when we're doing this tax stuff, but we right now are talking about, okay, what does the rest of the year look like, and at what point is it a good idea to incorporate? So that's top of mind for me. And of course, I'm incorporating my own company. And so I have been talking to clients about, okay, go and see a lawyer about a corporation. That's not something that I can help you with. I'm just trying to find my list here. Should have done that before I turned the camera on. But go and see a lawyer to incorporate, make sure that all gets done properly. And then what? Because there's a bunch of stuff that needs to happen after you incorporate. And I know that if this is not the world that you live in, then it can be a little overwhelming to think, okay, now I have this corporation, now what? Like, I know I have stuff to do, but what are the things that I need to do? And what order do they need to happen in? Because that's just as important. Sometimes you cannot do things out of order, turns out. So I have created my own list here. It is not by any means an exhaustive list, but I think it really encompasses at least everything that I need to do as an accountant that's incorporating, but more importantly, as a service-based business. This is what I need to do right after incorporate. So as soon as I have my articles of incorporation, I need to go to the bank and open myself a business bank account. And I need to do that in that order because you have to have your articles of incorporation to take to the bank to be able to open the bank account. And this is my first move to go and open the bank account because I need to be able to pay for things. So I want to be able to pay for them through the corporation immediately, like right off the bat. I don't want to pay for stuff personally and then have to get them into the corporation later. It's doable, it's not ideal. So I'm going to go open a bank account and hopefully they'll give me a credit card as well. And I'll be able to start paying for things immediately because the next few things, some of them I might need to pay for. And also like operating expenses. I've got, QuickBooks and that sort of thing, but we'll get there. So that's the first thing. I'm going to go get a bank account. The second thing is I'm going to register my new corporation for with the CRA if it hasn't already been done, and for its own HST account and a payroll account. So I currently have an HST number, but that's for me as an individual, or well, a sole proprietor. So that's not useful for the corporation. I need to close my HST account, open a new one for the corporation. So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to register for a payroll account because I'm going to put myself on the payroll, and I also have a bookkeeper that I'm going to put on the payroll. And I want to be able to start paying us immediately. So I'm going to go and register the payroll account at the same time as the HST account. It can all be done in the same process. So that's my number 2 thing I'm going to do. Number 3, I need to register an accounting firm. That's a specific step for me, but maybe you have to go and get like a business license, or you need to register with your own governing body, whatever that is. This step to me comes after the CRA and the business account because I have to pay for this registration, so business account, and I might need to provide my HST number or my CRA business number in order to do this second part. So number 3, register with whatever governing body you need to register with. Number 4, I'm going to buy insurance. So before I start operating this company, I need insurance. I have insurance currently for myself as a sole proprietor and the business that I'm running now, but I need insurance specifically for the corporation for liability. So because I'm an accountant, I have errors and omissions insurance, but general business liability insurance is a thing that I recommend getting immediately before you start operating a company. Number 5, I run all of my payments through Stripe, not all of them, but most of them, because I have a monthly recurring model. I charge people's credit cards just every month. It's the same amount. So instead of having to send them an invoice, then they pay the credit card or pay the invoice every month, it just automatically charges through Stripe. this deal that I have with Stripe, the contract that I signed with Stripe, is with me as an individual. I need to make sure that I change the contract to be with the corporation, because I want to make sure that later on, if I go to sell the company, that the contracts that the company has is truly in the corporate name, because otherwise I'm going to have to change it, because then this company is doing business on a contract that's with me and it starts to get messy. So because Stripe processes the majority of the payments that I have, I'm going to change that contract first. Number 6, in the same lines of changing these contracts, I'm going to go through all of my current suppliers and make sure that I sign new contracts with them. So for me, that means Microsoft, because I have a subscription to Office 365. It allows me to have like my email and Excel and like all the things. QuickBooks is another one for me, and Receipt Bank. Those are my main 3 bits of software that I use. Those are my monthly suppliers. I have a few others, but you get the idea. Number 7, I have to create a new agreement for my clients. So I have engagement letters that I have to send to new clients, so that we have an understanding of the scope of work that's going to happen, and we're on the same page from the beginning. So I have one for personal tax clients, one for if I just do a corporate tax return, and one for if I have a monthly relationship with somebody, like a retainer agreement. So I need to rewrite those agreements and make sure that, one, they're with the corporation, but also I'm going to have the lawyer look over them and just make sure that they're good, up to law, code. Don't know what that's called, so that's why I'm going to talk to a lawyer. Number 8, I need to sign, well, I guess this is supplier agreements, but I wrote specifically with my subcontractors, like make sure that we redo those agreements. And in one case, I'm going to write an employment contract because that person is going to be an employee. I need to re-sign all of my contracts with my current, hi Darcy, happy birthday. Not to like call you out, but happy birthday. I need to re-sign all my agreements with the people that I have monthly agreements with. So every one of my clients is going to sign an agreement in the next few months. It'll probably be the exact same agreement that they signed before, but I need them to sign it with the corporation, because again, contracts need to be party to the people that are actually in the contract. What was that? Numbers are hard. I need to set up a new Quickbooks file. So I currently have a Quickbooks file for my sole proprietorship, but the corporation will be a completely separate entity, which means I need a new set of books for it. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do that, because my Quickbooks file is a little different than most files because I have an accountant version, so I can like go back to my practice. So that means I have to figure out how I'm going to change the practice piece of my file to be a new file, new QuickBooks file. So that'll be a fun challenge for another day. Number 11, I need to move assets into my corporation. So I don't have a ton of assets. So I'm going to, Darcy, what are you talking about? I love it. I have to move assets into my corporation. So I only have a computer, so it's really small. So I'm just going to have the corporation buy it from me at the value that is currently sitting on my books for. If I had a big asset that I needed to roll into the corporation, I would do that as part of incorporating. It's what's called a Section 85 rollover. I'm not going to talk anymore about that because it's dull for those that don't study this kind of thing. Have your lawyer help you with that. That's a tricky one to do. Number 12, new email address. So because I'm incorporating a company, initially I thought, hey, do I need a new email address? Like I'm going to have a new company name and all these things. And it turned out that, yes, Darcy, it's a big asset. I do know what you're saying. I thought I was going to have a brand new company name, and then it turns out because I'm an accountant, I have to incorporate the URL of my business. So I will incorporate Kirk's CPA Professional Corporation, and I don't have a choice about that. Not real thrilled about it. I had another name picked out that I was real excited about, but here we are. doing what I have to do, and I'd much rather keep the URL that I have than go with the fun name that I chose. So it's equal to your liabilities and equity, so it's proportionate at least. So that's my to-do list. I have 12, maybe 13 things. I said 12, maybe 11 things to do on this list. And some of them are big things. So this is not going to be a list that I turn through quickly, but these are all things that need to happen pretty soon after I incorporate. So I created this list, and I'm kind of excited about it because it means planning and all that kind of thing. If you're interested in this list, let me know. Put a comment in the comments. I don't know where else you put them. And I'll send it to you. I'll send you a picture of it in my glitter handwriting. You'll love it. If you want tips like this in your inbox every week, sign up for my newsletter. It's the I left the link in the description, which is somewhere, depending on where you're viewing this. Darcy, so glad you could join me. I hope you had an excellent birthday. I will see you guys tomorrow. Maybe. Oh, here we go.